What is up, everybody? It's your boy Valente, and I'm back with a brand new video. And today we got a new little thing that I'm gonna try. Um, on Twitter, I said, it's tweet up on the screen now. You can see, I said, send your best Saints hot takes. Drop the Saints hot takes for a chance to be featured on an upcoming video that I'm doing where I review all hot takes and grade them. So that's what we're gonna do here. And I got 5 of my good friends sending me in some hot takes. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. So, first, my guy Xavier, he says they go 9-8 this year. Fire, fire, and then muscle arm emoji. Um, that's not a hot take. And the reason that's not a hot take is because the schedule is about damn near the same strength, or not the same strength, but it's a little bit harder. However, it is still the easiest schedule in the NFL. So them going 9-8 isn't really a hot take. That's just kind of expectation after you already have a season like that. You want to improve. So going 9-8 wouldn't really be a hot take. It's just what they do with that 9-8. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give that a D in terms of how hot it is. It's about 50 degrees and it is cold as hell. But yeah, not a hot take. Thank you for sending that in though, Xavier. Appreciate that. Next we got my guy Austin, also known as Puka MVP, the best Puka fan account on Twitter, I guess. He says, not a hot take, but Rashid Shaheed is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. And then he went on to add, well, he probably is, but shouldn't be. And yeah, this really isn't a hot take, but I don't know what to take more of here. I don't know if I should take more of the fact that Rashid is underrated, because I do believe he's underrated, or that he shouldn't be rated where he is. And I'm gonna give this hot take a C, only because when I look around Twitter and everywhere in the NFL, like sphere, the world of the NFL, I see a lot of people appreciate and value what Rashid Shaheed brings to any team, because he's an explosive returner, he's a great receiver. You know, he's a guy you can go up and get it, and he's shown that, and he's very reliable. Now, underrated, I can see him being underrated by some people, but there's also a good bit of people who value Rashid Shaheed the way that he should be. So, yeah, I'm gonna give this a C plus in terms of hot. It's probably a nice little 70-degree day, light breeze, sun's out. You might get a little crisp on the skin, but yeah, it's a pretty solid take though. Rashid Shaheed is definitely a bit underrated, undervalued by some NFL fans, and definitely mistaken by film junkies, I'm guessing. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, Austin. Up next, we got my guy Jay Rice. Jarrett said Dennis Allen gets fired by week 8 as the Saints have a very rough start to the season. Now, with this one, I don't know exactly how hot I'm gonna rank this, but to me, I truly believe that that Dennis Allen is gonna get fired this upcoming season. So that part really isn't hot, unless he can save his job by bringing in the right staff, which he brought in Clint Kubiak, and he's allowing Clint Kubiak to put his hands all over the offense without really too much of an input in it. Because I think Dennis Allen finally knows his place. Dennis Allen is a defensive guy, and he brought in Clint Kubiak, and he's letting Clint Kubiak bring in whoever he wants. I can't remember exactly who Kubiak's brought in so far, but he's brought in guys that he wants. and he's given Kubiak the right to do as much as he wants, how he wants to, and letting him take control of his side of the ball and, staying in his lane. He is the head coach, but you got to let your guys do what they need to do to succeed. Dennis Allen getting fired by week 8? I don't know. Because I don't know what the schedule looks like right now. I know who we're playing. I don't know when we're playing who. And it really all depends on the placement of certain games. If you put all of our hardest games in the opening stretch of the season, sure, he'll get fired by week 8, maybe. But I'm not really certain that he'll get fired by week 8. Will he get fired if they don't make the playoffs? I'm pretty sure this is a make or break year for Dennis Allen. You have to make the playoffs or we're going to break your contract and send you to Guangdong. Yeah. Now, having a rough start to the season, that's all based on what the schedule looks like when and how certain games are placed. But thank you, Jarrett. I'm gonna give that a C because, like I said, it's all based on where certain things play out. He will be fired most likely, just probably not by week 8. Up next, we got my guy Jake. He was the first one to send in a take, and this is probably the hottest take I've seen, but it's possible. He says the Saints win the NFC South with 10 plus wins next season, and Carr finishes top 10 in MVP voting. And before I say anything else, this is automatically getting a B plus in terms of how hot it is. I'm going to say it's a day where you just want to eat ice cream. If you're outside, you're doing everything possible to get the hell back inside. Now, there is a world where Dennis Allen and the Saints win 10 games. Any given Sunday, they've shown they can beat good teams before. However, it is very far and few and far between. Rarely ever happens. It happens once a blue moon. They beat the Eagles, they beat the Colts, and that's about it. Now, I don't know about Carr finishing top 10 in MVP voting. Now, see, the only way I could see that happening is if you get someone from, or the guy, or the woman who has the vote in the state of Louisiana on the AP voting ballot to give him a 5th place vote. That's the only way I could see him finishing top 10 in MVP voting. There was a Bills assistant coach that finished top 10 in MVP voting, so we'll see. But I highly doubt it. It really all just depends on if someone in the AP wants to be a troll. I highly doubt that Carr's career is salvageable. It's been 11 years and he's barely gone anywhere with that. And he's only been an MVP candidate once in his career, back in 2016, and we are long gone from that. Carr is not who he once was, and I don't think that's going to come back anytime soon. So, yeah, Carr is as shot as Abraham Lincoln in that theater one night. So, yeah. Back to the 10 plus wins thing, that is very possible. Again, they could have done that this year. If one thing went differently in the Packers game, you have a 10 plus win season. If one thing went differently in the Falcons game, you probably have a 10 plus win season. Things got to go your way. Can you make them go your way? That's the real question. Can Carr cut his losses and turn them into wins? I know he has he has the lowest, or somewhere close to the lowest, negative play rate in the entire NFL, but it's very easy to have a low negative play rate when you're not trying You're not risking too much. You're just taking the easy ball, which works sometimes, but not all the time. And he's got to take some risks. Do I think they have 10 plus wins next year? Maybe. One thing goes your way, and you're a 10-win team. So, again, I'm still gonna give this a very, very hot take because I do not believe in Dennis Allen. I do not believe in Derek Carr, especially the MVP voting thing. I really just don't get it. I don't believe it. I don't think he can return to that form. I was like this last year. I believed in him so much. I trusted that he could return to form with a change of scenery, new offensive coordinator, and some stability. But he hasn't had stability. Our offensive coordinator's a doofus, and our head coach was the guy who drafted him, and look how that went. Look how that turned out. So, moving on to the final hot take of the video. Dennis Allen, or excuse me, Nicole says Dennis Allen is the first head coach fired next year. I don't know. I'd have to really think about every head coach that's already on the hot seat. But, I mean, it's possible. There could be a coach that doesn't get fired. I mean, the first coach could be fired in week 14. Um, Off the top of my head, I don't really know a coach who's gonna be on the hot seat right now, but Eberflus is one. Um, Eberflus, maybe Peterson, Doug Peterson. I don't know. It really all depends on, again, like I was talking about with Jarrett's hot take. It really all depends on how certain things play out. If you put all the stretch the hardest games up first, like if you have us playing the Chiefs, the Lions, the Eagles, whoever our hardest games are, if you have us playing them first, and more than likely we'd lose all of those games, then sure, yeah, we probably will. He probably will be the first coach fired. I do know he should be fired next season, and hell, I'll apologize if he doesn't get fired. If Because I know that this is a make or break year for him, and the only way that he doesn't get fired is if he makes the playoffs. So if he makes the playoffs, if he wins the division, because as much as people don't want to believe it, this division is on the rise. Atlanta is getting better. Raheem Morris is, I mean, he has a dog mentality. I don't know if that translates to good coaching, but same with Carolina. I mean, Dave Canales is a dog when it comes to player development, so who knows? He can develop a good quarterback. He single-handedly revived the careers of Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield. And the Bucs are the Bucs. They could be going downhill. I don't know. The Bucs are the most wildly interchangeable team in the NFL, other than the 49ers. They're good. They're good every couple of years, and then boom, they fall back into the pit of irrelevancy. But do I think Dennis Allen is going to be the first head coach fired next year? No, probably not. He will be fired, but probably not the first head coach fired. So I'd grade this hot take a B, B minus. Um, but yeah, it's a good hot take because not only are you taking into account if Dennis Allen's going to be fired, but you got to figure out if he's going to be the first one fired. And out of the few names that I've thrown out there, probably not. You know, Todd Bowles could be the first head coach fired because, um, I mean, he went to the playoffs with an 8-9 record and then went to the playoffs with a 9-8 record. And then if he just all of a sudden doesn't make the playoffs, I'm pretty sure they might want to, consider cutting him off. I don't think Dennis Allen gets fired until the end of the season. So, yeah, that's that's going to be all of the hot takes for this video. Thank you to everyone who sent in hot takes. And if we do this again sometime, I hope you all send it in. Follow my Twitter, it's going to be in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.